First of all, those of you who don't know Jack, I've been working with Jack for months and months now. Can you mind if I just give my brief synopsis of since I've known you? Yeah. Right, Jack. So when I first met Jack, or when I first heard of Jack, Jack was associated like a young man. I joined the BNP. Remember that? I joined the BNP. When you drown in your clutch at straws, Jack joined the BNP when he was how old?
I don't know, like 16. I started supporting.
16. Like so a child. Yeah, 16. And remember, millions of people voted for the BNP back in the day. So that's the first I heard. And I'm one of those people who always tried to distance myself after joining. I know the problem that brings with you. So I tried to distance myself. But I've heard many people say Jack's a racist. I've heard many people say these things. I've spent months now working with Jack. We work with one of my best friends as well, who is behind the scenes, who's not white, as many of my friends aren't. I'd sit here and say Jack's not racist. He's certainly not an anti-Semite. In fact, nickname, we call him Jack Cuckby. We call him Jack Cuckby amongst all of us because he's one of the... And obviously, as young people in the country, you have an opportunity to change if you need to change, but to grow up from and the other thing is, how old are you, Jack?
I'm 24.
That's fucking bad. It's like a granddad.
You know, I joined that party at like 16, supported it from like 16 or so, and left it at about 19.
So you left it 5 years ago?
Yeah, but the reason I left is because I won't demonise the members of that party. Never will demonise the members of it because they were normal people.
It's like me with EDL. So some people who have a negative view of the BNP will think, oh, shut up. Like the EDL, but I'd say to people, no, I knew the EDL.
Exactly.
They were some of the best people I've met in my life.
Yeah, some of the nicest people I met were supporters of the BNP because they were working class people. And actually, it should say something that the working class have been so abandoned that they turned to the BNP in their droves. And the reason I left the party is because I went higher and higher up the top, and I sort of got swooped up because I'm young and I could talk, and everyone else there was like at the top was like 70 years old. So they swept me up to the top, and the minute I got to the top, I realised exactly who those people were. So if anything, actually, I'm more qualified to criticise the BNP than anyone on the left.
Which is quite the story you're telling there is a similar story to mine, in the fact that I joined the BNP young, not knowing much about them. I didn't know Nick Griffin denied the Holocaust. I didn't know Nick Griffin started the National... I didn't know any of these things when I joined. I didn't know them. I did not know them. And but yeah, okay, so that's who Jack is. We've worked together for a while now. Jack ain't no racist, he ain't no anti-Semite. There's still many people who want to throw that and ban that at him. Yeah. Many people. So we're here because... which I can't wait for this. Yeah? We're here because there's an exposure, undercover, Inside Britain's New Far-Right documentary that's starring Jack Cuckby. I'll let you talk about it. Go on.
So basically, on July the 1st, I was running Anne-Marie's. Well, I was doing a lot of like stuff for Anne-Marie. She didn't have a campaign manager. I was just helping with her, and she had her launch for a UKIP campaign in Rotherham. And this girl turned up, and it was after the venue, the whole thing had happened. We all went into the back room with some champagne. There was this girl sat there, and I just assumed everyone knew her. So I gave her a hug, said thanks for coming, had a glass of champagne with her and all that, and it just seemed perfectly normal. She just seemed to know everyone else, and she turned up at every single event, and she told us that she was a carer professionally, and that she'd been red-pilled online. And I actually said to Lucy a couple of times after I met her, I said, I think this girl's a spy, because she came from nowhere. But then I told myself, stop being paranoid, right?
We're all paranoid, aren't we?
That's it. So I thought, I'm just being paranoid, right? And I gave her the benefit of the doubt because Lucy came from the left not long ago either. She was red-pilled.
Lucy was on Black Lives Matter's protest.
Matter.
Lucy! What are you like?
Well, I gave her the benefit of the doubt because of that. And so she turned up at everything. And nice girl. Bit quiet, but, I took her in. Everyone took her in. And I showed her the ropes. I told her the people who to avoid. I remember when I saw her with a magazine called Heritage and Destiny, I told her, don't be reading that. You want to be careful of those people. They're real.
Do you think they're going to show any of that?
No, that's the thing.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. So basically the point of this is there's a documentary coming out and she's been recording everything for months, since July the 1st. And she's recorded all our conversations.
I can't wait.
I'm actually quite keen to see
I can't wait.
Because I know they haven't got anything mad.
Well, no, you've said some pretty outrageous things from what I understand. From what I understand, let's get to what you've said. because I'm disgusted at some of this. You said Islam's at war with us.
I did say we're at war with Islam.
Oh my God! I can't. How far right of you?
Oh, they've got. You know, this is the thing. They
What else did you say?
they didn't get what they wanted in recordings, so they're using things that I said publicly. So they said we will also discuss your previous membership of the BNP and how on Channel 4 you said Syrian refugees application form, take one home, taking a Syrian refugee. I hope you don't get raped. I said that on live television.
So?
Live television.
Yeah.
And what this is?
Oh, and they're using that in this documentary
because they got nothing. They got nothing. And what they won't.
So she spent 6 months, 9 months undercover into Anne-Marie Waters, yourself, trying to get dirt.
Yeah.
And the best dirt they've got you saying is we're at war with Islam.
Yeah, I think that's down here.
Here you go, look. You have promoted views that label the whole religion of Islam as evil and dangerous. And that Islam is at war with the UK. A battle in which you say you are engaged. You absolute bigot. You've said that Islam's evil and dangerous. Killing gay people. Stoning women. Shagging children. Evil?
Sounds pretty evil to me.
I'll put that under
exactly
that. So the best, I can't believe that.
That's the best they've got.
No, they start off with, look at this, they tell you what you are, which is, you are a far-right extremist. But in this, they call, just so anyone watching this, because I know a lot of people, they try to label me. Now I'm finally out of the wood now. People realise I'm not a far-right extremist. But somewhere in this...
here it is.
Somewhere in this...
You've associated and now work with the far-right
extremist Stephen Lennon. So you can see yourselves as viewers that everyone's a far-right extremist to these people. Unless you hug Islam and read the Quran, you're a far-right extremist.
And that you work for Rebel Media and alt-right media or alt-right. Ezra Levant is Jewish.
You work... Is that what it is? And alt-right media! For fuck's sake! What a comical load of... Oh, my God! Rebel Media against the alt-right. The alt-right hate Rebel Media. In fact, I'm known as a Zionist. I'm known as a Zionist shill because of my involvement with Rebel Media.
And, you know, a point I had to make I submitted an official response to this morning. Yep. Obviously, they're going to cut, edit, but I had to do it. And I said to them, their own footage has proved their hypothesis wrong. Their hypothesis for this film is that there's this new... I've read the whole document. We won't read the whole thing. It's boring. But basically, their claim is there's this new far right in Britain. And it's the kind of people that follow Anne-Marie Waters around, our kind of gang. And they say this new far-right gang is bringing in young people and people from different ethnic backgrounds as a sort of front to push a far-right agenda, right? So that's their hypothesis. We're all far-right and we're using this. She has come in, this girl, Hazel Brown, she called herself. You know, I actually did say to her once, you realise that your name is two colours? Yeah. Hazel Brown. And when you
that'll be in there.
Yeah.
Jack, who is completely fixated on colours. Jack said brown.
But anyway, she came in.
I think he was referring to brown shirts. And here he is in a black shirt.
God. But so she came in and she met this diverse crowd. She met Red Pill Phil. She met some Asian people. She even met a Muslim on our side, Ishmael. She met a Muslim on our side in Bristol. She met ex-Muslims. She met Jews. She met all people, young and disabled people,
gay people.
This huge, diverse crowd. So if you've got a hypothesis that there's this far-right group of racists who hate all people that aren't like them, and then you go to that crowd and you meet them and you see the opposite, what does that tell you scientifically?
Yeah.
It tells you that you're wrong.
That doesn't fit into their agenda.
It doesn't fit. So
what do you think they're going to show any of that?
No, they're not going to show any of that.
I've seen a comment from Mohammed.
Fiaz.
From Fiaz, yeah. So who's a Pakistani, and he said that he spent a lot of time with this woman.
Yeah.
So if this documentary doesn't show a lot of time with him, making comments about how unsafe he is as an ex-Muslim, if it doesn't show these things, then it's clear for everyone. I still think I don't see how they'll be allowed not to show these people.
They might have to, but then how do they spin it?
Oh, they spin it. I think I know how they'll spin it.
Yeah.
They'll spin it by using, in their undercover footage, they're going to have a couple of dickheads saying some bad things.
They do.
If they've travelled for 6 months or 9 months and they've gone to secret meetings and they might have a couple of idiots. Like, for example, I know of one man in this that says some bad stuff. Now, this one man, I walked into Anne-Marie Waters' press conference. They might have me shaking his hand. Yeah, because I've never met him. right? So like I do, I shake everyone's hand. Now, if they show on the video me shaking his hand, and they show it a clip of him saying something racist,
therefore you're at fault.
That's what they're going to do. Yeah. That's what.
Well, they've already said it in here.
That's what they're planning.
They say you associate with a man. I'm not going to name him and embarrass him. He's made his own mistakes, but they say that you associate with this man. I know this man.
I've met him twice.
I had no idea that anything like what he said that they'll see on the documentary will come out of his mouth, and I don't condone it. And I don't understand how he said it, because he's friends with black people in this group that they met. So just because they found this one person...
How old is he?
I was young. He's young. I think it was just a mistake. He thought he was being funny. Something.
He thought the people...
I won't make excuses for him. But yeah, that's how they'll try and do it. Well,
do you know what we're going to do? You've seen Gogglebox, yeah? That's what we're going to do for this documentary, right?
Tell me Gogglebox.
We're going to do a far-right edition of Gogglebox, where we're going to sit... Should we get Anne-Marie to come join us?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Should we be up for it?
Yeah.
We want to put the cameras on. And we're going to sit and watch this documentary. And I'm going to laugh the whole way through it, because it's not me. I'm not on it. I don't want to see. But no, that's what we're going to do. But this is really an introduction. I wanted to talk about this. Because you know when you read things, most of you would have read things about me and you dislike me. Yeah. And you can use screenshots of things I've said to fit an agenda or to make it look out of context of things I've said over the years. Yeah. The same happens to Jack. Now, Jack was behind the scenes of us at Buckby UK, launching Buckby UK. Jack has worked with me now for Rebel, so this is. I'm keen to watch it. I'm keen to watch it to see what they say about your past. I'm just keen to watch it. I think
all they've got is just some stupid tweet from years ago that I used to try and upset some lefties. I actually challenged them in my official response. Please find a single example where I suggest that I hate people because of their race. A single example of any kind of Jew hatred. They'll never find that. And a single example of me blaming all Muslims. I know what it's like with the press, not to the extent as you, but I've had these people tarring me, attacking me for being racist, far right, but there's never any evidence for it.
No,
and because I'm not famous, I'm fair game. They just want to destroy me.
Yeah.
They're bastards. But the best thing is to just laugh at them, because there's not... I think when this goes out on November 9th, I think it's at 11 o'clock. It's not even a big deal.
Book your night in, because if you subscribe to Tom Robinson's show, you'll be watching Gogglebox-like version of us all laughing our bollocks off at Jack's expense. I'm still, this bit is still this bit for me. This is the best bit. This is the best bit that just puts this whole documentary into perspective of how absolutely pathetic it is. You are a far-right extremist. You have promoted views that label the whole religion of Islam as evil and dangerous. Yeah. The Quran says over 100 times to kill non-Muslims. And that Islam is at war with the UK. Yeah. Islam, house of God, house of war. The UK is a house of war until everyone converts to Islam. This is under Islamic, this is under their mindset, their scriptural views. That once it's a house of war until everyone converts to Islam. Then it becomes a house of God. So we didn't say Islam. That's not us. Islam says it's at war with the UK. They say it.
ISIS say they're at war with us every day.
But Islam, I wouldn't even say ISIS, because Islam is at war with the UK. No. Generally, the mainstream of Islam. And that is not a far-right extremist view. That's an honest view. So when their first allegations, the allegations and information we plan to include are, and it starts off on such a weak, pathetic start, a battle which you say, we will discuss, as well as the views of your close associates, including Anne-Marie Waters. It's a significant concern because it devises and demonises an entire community and could provoke violent anti-Muslim sentiment and action. How?
On the letter they sent to Anne-Marie, they said, could potentially incite. So could, maybe, potentially, maybe, incite, meaning we're not actually doing it, but someone else will do it. That's 3 variables. It could potentially incite. Anything could potentially incite anything.
I'm going to troll watch this bitch.
Yeah, we need to find her.
I'm going to try.
Now, actually, we'll put a photo up on this video of her face. If anyone's seen this girl, she's.
Do you know what my issue is? Forget about your issue. My own personal selfish thing is, you have associated now work with the far-right extremist, Tommy Robinson. Yeah. I just spoke. There's no evidence that. No. There's no evidence that. There's no evidence at all that I'm a far-right or an extremist. So my views, actually, that's why You're more traditional conservative.
Well, that's it. I told you the other day, I never used to be a big fan of you because I thought you were a lefty.
A lefty,
you are
yeah.
a lefty, really. He's a lefty.
But it's like, no, because most of my views will not be right wing. Many of them won't. I'll take some from the right and some from the left. And that's it. But that doesn't matter to anyone else because I'm a far right extremist because I talk about Islam. And you think that Islam's dangerous. Yeah. But that's fucking disgusting. Bigot, Nazi. Islam's not dangerous. Those 4 bombings in the last 4 months, they're not dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about it. What are the most dangerous countries in the world? They're not Islamic countries, are they? Oh, they are.
Think of the safest country on earth. The safest city on earth, which is Reykjavik. They recently got their first mosque, but it's not even really a mosque. There's nothing there. There's no Islam in Reykjavik.
But the dangerous, just look up the most dangerous countries in the world, and they're Islamic. Yeah, well, this is when?
9th of November, this is out. I feel like I'm plugging it, actually. I'm quite looking for... We had all these people last night saying, we need to get this shut down. Nah, air it. I want to see it on TV, because I think it's going to be hilarious.
So do I. I'm going to sit there with my pizza and my popcorn. Yeah, we'll get a curry. We'll get curry, because that'll be so bigoted of us. And they'll say, oh, look, and he's even trying to wind up the Indian restaurant by getting them round whilst he's inciting hatred on the TV. Yep, that's it. Coming on the 9th. And go on, it's your turn to plug the show now. Can I just say one more thing? 24 years old.
It's saying I look unhealthy.
I'm saying you've had an uphill paper round in Baghdad. Right. See you later.
November 9th.
If you cut and pause that, just as I went like